What's up, dude? Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's true crime story is going to be just a little bit different. Every now and then I kind of like to do a bit of a palate cleanser where nobody dies, because constantly talking about death and murder, it can really get to a person sometimes. So every now and then I like to do a story or two here and there so we can all just kind of get a break from hearing about people dying. I'm sure that that's what you guys like about true crime, is hearing about those cases, because let's be real, murder cases are incredibly interesting. They're not good, it's not like they're fun, but they are interesting to hear about. However, today's is equally as interesting, and I think you guys will really get a kick out of it, so let's just jump right into it. Caitlin Jensen, 28 years old, graduated from Georgia Southern University with a degree in chemistry and biology in May of 2022, so almost a year ago. She had already put in a year of work at the Sitka Science Center in Alaska and absolutely loved it. Caitlin was a huge animal person, and that was what she wanted to do with her life, was to work with animals. Her family, her mom and her brother, lived in Savannah, Georgia. Caitlin's brother was going to Georgia Southern University as well. Caitlin's parents had been high school sweethearts, but her dad had unfortunately passed away when she was just a toddler. On June 16th of 2022, Caitlin went in for a routine neck adjustment with her chiropractor. Okay, sidebar, I cannot stand to get my neck manually adjusted or cracked. You know when they take your head and go like that? I can't do that. And I think they've maybe done it once, and I tensed up because about halfway through I realized what they were doing, and I got tense and I was like, don't do that. And they were like, oh, sorry, we thought we could trick you. And I was like, what is wrong with you? I said I don't like that. Don't do that. I was so upset with them because I had specifically said, do not manually adjust my neck. I don't like that. And then here they went and they tried to trick me and do it. And I was like, don't do that. Anyways, I like getting my back cracked by a chiropractor, but that's about it. Otherwise, I do not want to go there. She had been texting her mom, Darlene, for most of the morning. It was a pretty uneventful, normal morning, nothing real crazy was going on. The last text that Caitlin had read from her mom was at 9 a.m. 21 minutes later, Darlene got a call from her daughter's chiropractor telling her that Caitlin was having a reaction to the treatment. The neck adjustment had caused 4 vertebral artery dissections, which cuts off blood flow to the brain. Also, I could be saying vertebral incorrectly, but anyways, the vertebral artery is located in the neck, and it sends blood to the brain. In a vertebral artery dissection, there is a flap-like tear in the inner lining of the artery. So it's kind of here's your artery. Let's just, for example, say it's kind of, I think, that. It kind of creates a little bit of a flap, if that makes sense. After the artery is torn, blood enters the arterial wall and forms a blood clot, which in turn thickens the artery wall and slows or stops blood flow to the brain. So it's no joke. It's rare, but a vertebral artery dissection can cause a stroke, which is what Caitlin unfortunately suffered from. If a dissection occurs and is treated in a timely fashion, usually by blood thinners or a surgery, it can save a life. Having that done, if it's treated right away, it can save your life and for the most part be okay. Darlene didn't know the specifics of the situation when she left her job managing the front office of a transmission shop to go get Caitlin. She didn't even mention it to her son, who was working with her for the summer. She thought, oh, it's just no big deal, basically. I thought she's probably got vertigo or something, Darlene told The Independent in August. I mean, it just never occurred to me that it was a serious issue, so I just said, I'm going to run up and check on her. I'll be back in a little bit. However, when she got to the chiropractor's office, Caitlin was already loaded up in an ambulance. It was clear that something was wrong, Darlene said. Her speech wasn't right. She was very sweaty and nauseous. She was vomiting. It didn't occur to me that she was having a stroke. I've never seen anybody have a stroke. I did not know the signs and symptoms of a stroke, she said. I did not expect a 28-year-old perfectly healthy young woman to be having a stroke. Caitlin was taken away to the hospital, and eventually she was put on a ventilator, which is very serious. She was then moved to the acquired brain injury unit in Atlanta's Shepherd Center, more than 4 hours away from the family's home. So Darlene had been sleeping at the hospital with Caitlin while she was there, because she, being on a ventilator and stuff, like, well, this was after she had gotten off the ventilator, yes, but after, it was like she still had troubles with like her saliva and stuff, and so she couldn't always like swallow it down, so they would have to like for lack of a more technical like term and definition of it, they would have to take like a turkey baster essentially and put it down her throat and suck up the clogs that were happening in her throat. And I guess they had a couple of very close calls with that happening, because she could just suffocate literally on her own saliva. So that's why her mom wanted to stay there, so that way she could be with Caitlin like round the clock and make sure that her airways were always open and she was able to breathe. Caitlin went to the chiropractors initially because of the stress she was facing at school. She was sitting at her desk every day studying, Darlene said. She was really tense because it was really hard, so she was clenching her jaw and, just kind of tight. And we thought maybe going to the chiropractor will just help loosen everything up, which is a totally valid way of thinking. And now that school was done for her, it's like hopefully she wasn't going to have that level of stress anymore. She's like, I don't think I need to go, her mother says, adding that she had told Caitlin to just keep your appointment because we're responsible people that don't cancel things at the last minute. So she went. So Caitlin wanted to cancel her appointment. Our main form of communication right now is we'll go through the alphabet, Darlene said, and she'll let me know when I've gotten to the right letter, and I just spell everything out. Okay, so side note, I have a friend whose mom is like non-verbal, like she can't talk, and she's had a lot of major health issues as well. But they do the same thing. So I've seen them go through the alphabet, and their mom she'll look up for yes or down for no, but they don't go through the alphabet in a normal way. When they're trying to figure out the first letter, they'll go through all the letters that are like most likely to be the beginning of a word, and then they'll go through like vowels, and because words have an anatomy, so you kind of know what to expect. It's kind of like when you play Wordle, you know which letters are more than likely to be the first letter, and then you go and you try to use words that use a lot of vowels, so you know which vowels are in that word. I always use quiet to figure out my vowels, by the way. So I've seen this, and it's not easy to do, but like after doing it for a while, you can start to figure out what the word more than likely is going to be, or what it starts with, or what letters are in it. So essentially you are kind of playing Wordle, I guess, to communicate. In a weird kind of roundabout way, but I'm just saying I've seen people communicate like this, and honestly it doesn't seem to be as hard as you would think, and at least there's a way to communicate. She, Caitlin, can also nod and thumbs up, and she can mouth things. Sometimes I can get it, sometimes not. Really, right now, we are spelling everything out. Thankfully, she's a very good speller, but yeah, we just spell everything out painstakingly. I would struggle with that. Spelling. Caitlin was kept off of social media, but would light up when the support dogs would come visit her, since she was such an avid animal lover. We've got to work on the muscles associated with swallowing, protecting her own airway, her diaphragm, sneezing, coughing, all of the things that she needs to do to be able to be unassisted with her breathing. Her ventilator has been removed, and she has been breathing through a trach. So this is when I should have mentioned the thing about clearing her airways. I just kind of jumped the gun a little bit. She unfortunately was paralyzed. We don't know whether or not the patient arrived in the process of this event, or if this event developed as a result of the care, Dr. Gerard Klum, chiropractor and director at Life University, said. Dr. Gerard said the possibility of having 4 artery dissections from a neck adjustment is inconceivable. He says many patients often don't know if they have an underlying issue before booking an appointment, according to WSBTV.com. It says to me that there is an underlying pathology that the patient and the chiropractor didn't know she had, he said. She likely would have been in that same spot over time. Okay. The chance of this sort of injury happening is 1 in 100,000, and there's no way to know if an adjustment can trigger a brain injury like Caitlin, according to Dr. Gerard. We've been blown away by the support and very appreciative, because we do have a very long road ahead of us. It helps to know those funds are there for her needs, because we don't know what all of her needs are going to be yet, according to Darlene. Now, I do have the GoFundMe for Caitlin linked in the description box down below, so if you guys feel compelled to make a donation, it is there if you want to. I'm just letting you know, and I want it to be available for you guys. I think last I checked, they had like $217,000 raised, which seems like a lot, but with such a huge medical, I don't want to say issue, but I mean, it's a huge medical thing that they're undergoing right now. So, I mean, it's expensive, you know, bills aren't free, unfortunately, and insurance will sometimes only cover so much. So I think it's great that this GoFundMe was set up. So if you guys would like to go donate, it's there for you. But that is it for me today. Thank you guys for watching. If you found this video interesting, give it a thumbs up down below. Let me know if you enjoy these types of videos as well, because I'll probably do more of them. Honestly, even if you don't like them, I'll probably do more of them. But that is it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. If not, totally fine. Thanks for hanging out with me for this video. But for those of you that will be back, I will see you tomorrow with another True Crime Courier video. Bye, guys.